As a contractor, I don't pay for materials I don't use. So why would I pay for stuff I don't need in my mobile plan? That's why the new MyBiz plan from Verizon Business is so perfect. Now I can choose exactly what I want, and I only pay for what I need.
Right now, with MyBiz plan, get our best price, as low as $25 a line. Visit verizon.com/business to get started today. Price per month with 5+ lines. Includes autopay and paper-free billing and special intro offer discounts. Taxes, fees, economic adjustment charge, and terms apply. Offers end June 10th, 2025.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to the podcast. I have a guest for us today, Mohan, and he has a heartfelt story about his daughter, and he wrote a memoir called Myopia, A Father's Journey into Love, Loss, and Sight Beyond Vision. It releases on the 22nd, and he's going to talk to us all about his journey, what he learns, and he's got a powerful message on grief, resilience, and finding meaning in unexpected places. I'm really happy to have him and talk to us about his work. So Mohan, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Lou. Thank you for having me with you.
Yeah. Briefly, everybody calls me Chris. And yeah, I know you chronicled your daughter's story. And so tell the audience and how you wrote the book.
Actually, I cannot say that I wrote the book, because the first book that I wrote, somehow the universe orchestrated me into writing a book, because I had no intention of becoming a writer. I was a businessman. I have been a businessman all my life. I came out of businesses in 2015 when I turned 56, 57. And then I started trekking. And the one trek that I did in the Himalayas in Tibet, Mount Kailash is a holy shrine in Tibet that is revered by over 2 billion people in the world, by the Hindus, by the Buddhists, and by Jains. It's called Mount Meru also. So I did the trek at 19,000 feet in about 13 and a half hours in about 2 days. And everybody wanted to know my experience. Was it transformative? Did I see any angels? Did I see any devotees? Because it's so highly revered that people see many things when they go there. So everybody kept asking me, everybody in Mysore. So I thought, instead of saying the same thing over and over again, I'd write a book. And I wrote a book, and I got it edited by an American editor, and it did pretty well. It got won 3 awards in the US, and then it did pretty well in India too. Then something that I've been always wanting to write was the story of the journey of my life with my daughter. My first daughter, Yogita, was born blind. And we discovered that she couldn't speak when she was 2.5. And when she was 8.5, such a healthy girl, without even as much as a running go, suddenly we discovered that she had stage 4 cancer. And I was shocked. And so I went through an intense period of extreme hardship, mental tumult, great amount of distress in the 9 years of facing so many problems, along with my business startup problems and all that. But I learned a lot of lessons from my sufferings, from a lot of lessons from my adversities. And there was always, I did so many things in memory of my daughter, like giving away to charities, building some homes for the destitutes, for blind children and all that. But there was somehow some emptiness that I had not done enough in honor of her memory to share really the story that she taught me. Yogita taught me through her silence to listen to the whispers of the soul. She taught me through the fingers. She only could see through her fingers, but the fingers were so sensitive that and her innocence was so pristine. The first lesson that I learned from her was one of gratitude. See, when we sit and say gratitude, we thank the God for our family, we thank the God for the roof over our head, we thank the Lord for our food. But do you know where we should start first? We should thank the Lord for giving all our organs intact, to have given us a healthy body. We are not grateful that we can see, we can hear, we can smell, we can taste, we can speak. Have we ever said a prayer of gratitude? Out of 1 million people, there are at least 15, 20,000 people who will have one or the other problem with one of the organs. So the first thing that I learned when I found out was that how grateful we want to be. So many things in life we take for granted, especially what we have been blessed by the universe in terms of the healthy body. The very fact that you can see so many things and do so many things, you should be grateful for that. So gratitude she taught me. She taught me empathy, compassion, pristine innocence. There was no labeling or judging because she couldn't see. So it was pure innocence. So I taught so many things, but when I look around the world, especially in the West, you want to sidestep suffering. You want to avoid suffering. But when you look back at your life, tell me how many things you have taken away from your sufferings, what you call suffering. Because according to me, there is no such thing as suffering in Hinduism or Buddhism. We call it dukkha. It's called samsara, the dukkha from samsara. It's called existential angst. Because suffering is a kind of a reaction. Pain, there is hardship, there is disappointment. But what you internalize, self-blame, self-pity, anger, jealousy, why me? This is suffering. And Hinduism and Buddhism, we call the dukkha. So I wanted to share the lessons that I learned. Tell the world that just like you celebrate your joys, your happy moments, you should learn to celebrate your sufferings too, because you learn more. A disappointment, a job loss that steered you to a particular career. Like Dr. Lu today is doing what he did because of some betrayal or some disappointment or something that made him steer or change his course of direction. So when we go back and see who we are there because of the course corrections that have been made by life. Most of it could be disappointment, it could be failure, it could be betrayal, whatever it could be. Many things happen which he labeled as negative, but would have been the reason for putting you where you are today. But have we ever sat back and really reflected and said, yes, I should thank my sufferings. I should thank for all the hardships that I went through. I am today what I am because of that. Not only did it make me stronger, made me trust myself, but it also taught me resilience. So this is the lesson that I wanted to share. So I started a movement called Myopia and wrote a book. And the book is getting published this month end. Not that I'm here, God and universe has been kind to me. God has given me enough wealth. It's not sales that I'm after, but I want Yogita's story to reach as many people as it can. As many people it can to reach that this is what I went through. Look, today I'm happy, I'm settled. I know, because in Hinduism, we believe that when somebody dies at the very end, they die so because only there was this much of karmic debt left. That is why the daughter was there for only 8.5 years. She finished off her karmic debt and she became one with the universe, called the moksha, salvation. So in India, when children die, we keep the portraits in the prayer room because we believe that God. We call them Jivan Mukta because she is with God now. He has not taken any rebirth. So we know in Hinduism, we believe in rebirth unless our karmic debt is completely cleared. So we keep on reborning until we achieve salvation. Anyway, so in honor of my daughter, I wanted this story to catch the word, and I wanted all the readers to request to help me amplify my efforts so that the story can be heard and the sacredness of grief, the sacredness of suffering can be understood and appreciated.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a wonderful introduction. And so there's two questions I have for you. The first is, here in the West, talk about the suffering, and a lot of the thinking here is, if this didn't happen, then I would be much better off. And so how does your book challenge this thinking where if something bad hadn't happened, you would be much better off?
Yeah, you're talking about regret. See, regret is a useless emotion. You know why? Because what has happened, there is no other way that it could have happened in any other way. If I were to choose the life, I would choose an exact same life over and over again, over 100 times. Because there is no way that I would have been any like this if anything else has happened. Regret serves no purpose except self-blame, guilt, and self-pity. Remorse helps. Take corrective steps. But what purpose does regret serve? They say in the Bhagavad Gita, what happened, there is no way that it could have happened any other way. What is happening now, there is no way that it can happen any other way. What will happen in the future, there is no way that it will happen any other way. So do not have expectations. So if I could have, I should have, I might have, could have, they should have, might have, did not have, must not. So sabotaging your own mind. Please do not indulge in regrets. The difference between regret and remorse, you take corrective steps. Okay, if you have hurt somebody, you feel bad about it, make sure that you correct, you become a better person in the future. That's what life is about. So in the West, what is happening is they have a binary attitude, good, bad, happy, sad. Winner, loser. Life is not like that. So whatever happened, you have to take life with the perfections as well as the imperfections. I had, when Yogita was 2.5, my second daughter was born. She was perfect in any way, and even perfect. My son was born. But I admire the imperfections of the universe as well as the perfections of the universe. The second thing, the most important thing, Dr. Chris, never pity. If you pity somebody, you are putting yourself in a very high platform, pedestal, and judging, oh, poor thing, I have so many things. She doesn't have, you have no goddamn business to do that. My daughter was very happy because she didn't even know what she was missing. If she found out that somebody was pitying her, she would have felt terrible and miserable. So when you meet somebody with any disability or any problem, treat them exactly as if you would to treat a healthy, normal person. You have no business to pity. If you pity, you're being arrogant and putting yourself in a very high pedestal. Pity serves no purpose. Be empathetic. Take a toy that they may like. Think of something that might help. You pin them on the cheek. Play with them like other children. Treat them exactly as you would with others. Pat them on the back. But don't sit and pity them, for God's sake.
Llegaron los nuevos McCrispy Strips, listos para aventurarse en la mezcla de mayo ketchup, la barbecue que quedó en el fondo de la cajita, hot fudge sundae y en la nueva creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Los nuevos McCrispy Strips, ahora en McDonald's. Para pa pa pa.
You know that feeling when someone shows up for you just when you need it most? That's what Uber is all about. Not just a ride or dinner at your door. It's how Uber helps you show up for the moments that matter. Because showing up can turn a tough day around or make a good one even better. Whatever it is, big or small, Uber is on the way. So you can be on yours. Uber, on our way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The next question I have for you is, because you talked about karma, and what is the difference between karma and dharma?
Oh my God, two entirely different things. Well, you're asking such a deep question. Karma is action, whatever you do. And the action does not necessarily mean physical action. Even the thinking action that you do inside,
Oh,
that also is karma. Okay? You think ill about somebody, that is also karma. Karma is action, both in physical form as well as in the non-physical form.
wow.
So we believe in the Gita and in Hinduism that the universe we are all one with the universe. Aham Brahmasmi, that is, we are extensions of the Brahman, the consciousness. We are extensions of the consciousness. It is in us. We are sandwiched with it. So it observes. It gives us a body and a mind and a soul, and observes what all we do, silently witnessing and everything. So you have an opportunity to do good things, contribute to the world in a manner that it is not hurtful or harmful to anybody, and carry out good deeds. But once you realize that you are nothing but one with the Brahman, then you attain what is called moksha, the salvation. Now, here is the thing. Now, who has to say what is the right thing to do? There is a difference between the right thing to do and the righteous thing to do. A soldier kills for his country. He's killing somebody. Is he doing the right thing? Or is he doing the righteous thing? You know what? So dharma is the righteous duty. What happens? This is so when you talk about karma is the action. A murderer goes to a lawyer. and confesses to the liar that I killed somebody, I regret it, please save me. Now, there is a difference between the right thing and the righteous thing to do. The right thing to do is to tell the police that he has killed somebody. But what is your duty, as righteous duty, as a lawyer? You have to protect your client. So ethical righteousness, the ethical duty is called dharma. Lawyer has to fight without looking at the enemy. A lawyer has to serve his client without looking at the client. This is called dharma. Karma is the action that you do. And if without any malice, without anything, you carry out whatever is righteous, every action that you do, that it serves the whole purpose of mankind, that what you're supposed to do. So what is the right thing to do and what is the wrong thing to do? You want me to tell you? I can tell you, but it will take only a couple of months, because unless you sit and read Bhagavad Gita, you will not understand. So this is whenever you have a dilemma as to what is the right thing to do. Did Buddha do the right thing by giving up on his family? What did Bhagavad Gita say? He enlightened the whole world, but he ditched his family. So how do you interpret it? So there are questions that you need to ask. So these questions you get answers, not specific questions, but the guidelines. What are you supposed to do till you are 12? What you are supposed to do after you get married? What are you supposed to do after you get old? What is the right thing to do? What is the king supposed to do? What is the soldier supposed to do? What is the businessman supposed to do? So you get guidelines about what is the right. That is called dharma.
Interesting.
What you do internally and externally is what is called. And karma is just imagine like a bank. When you are doing it, there are 4 kinds of karma. The karma and one more karma. Which means we believe that the karma is from life to life, many lives over, not just in one life.
Yeah.
That is why we have the genetic memory. You give the aura. We feel that we die, but our patterns don't die. The patterns that we live, as when we live in the world, those patterns goes into the akashic field. Okay? So if you have done good things and you realize that you are nothing but one with the Brahman, then you become one with God. So you don't take the physical form anymore. You are pure, infinite intelligence that you are, basically.
Interesting.
So you got the difference between karma and dharma?
Yeah. The way I understand it, the way it's viewed in the West is, so for example, they say that
karma, bad karma. You do something bad and then you fall down, you have bad karma.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as that. It becomes only good karma as well as bad karma, whatever you do. Okay? What you do as a human being in the incarnation of a person and the person, all the actions, all the thoughts, processes, all the things that you do is called karma.
Yeah.
The deeds. Okay? So there is what is called the prarabdha karma, kinchita karma. What you do sometimes bad in this lifetime will get nullified in this lifetime only. Sometimes what you did in the past. So when you ask somebody, why is it a bad that why some child has no fault of hers gets punished by God? So in Hinduism, the answer is that it is not because of the karma of this, because such a pure, innocent, lovely child. It is because of the previous Janma's karma that is. But you assume that he is suffering or he is suffering. He may be happier than you. What makes you think the blind person is unhappy?
Interesting.
Yeah, you look at them and cry. Do you think a blind person looks at them and cry in the mirror? No, they don't. You will make them feel miserable if you pity them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And in the way they say that karma is 10 times, but dharma is like destiny. So question for you is, and then why do some people in here, you see a lot of suffering, bad things continue to happen to them, no fault of their own? Are they paying their karma from previous lives, or what's going on there?
See, number one, like I said, suffering, there is no such thing as suffering in the Eastern philosophy. Suffering is a reaction of the human mind in the West. To undergo hardship, it is up to you whether you suffer or not. You may be crying, but you won't be hating somebody, or you won't be scolding the doctor, or you won't be hating yourself, or feeling angry for what is going on. When you do those negative feelings, you let your little mind do those things, that is suffering. But when you accept it, when you embrace it, you'll be crying. When there's a loss of somebody, you'll be crying. but you won't be suffering. You will go through the instinctive motions that life has to go through. So, number one is suffering is something that you create. Hardship and pain is something that the universe creates,
Wow.
whether to test you or what. But suffering is something that you react and you create for yourself. So in the West, people are taking cognizance of the fact that suffering is in my hand, but the hardship is not in my hand. The events are not in my hand. So when a child dies, or when a child, there's no good or bad thing like you. What you consider suffering, somebody is undergoing deep pain, deep physical pain, physical distress, or caught in a tsunami, or whatever it is. So we want to ask why. There are four platforms, four perspectives. One is science, one is philosophy, one is spirituality, one is religion. Which answer do you want? From the Hindu religion, it is nothing but karma.
Interesting.
Yeah, from the spirituality, you have no question to ask. You have nobody to ask because it's a mystery. You will never know the answer. From the scientific perspective, they'll say because of the El Nino effect, because of the temperature difference, and because of the depression, suddenly the temperature went up to 42 degrees. The temperature difference created a low pressure area. Because of the low pressure area, all the water came in. And then don't blame mankind or God. That's a natural phenomena.
Yeah.
And what do you want with the philosophical? You want to hear the interpretation of Nietzsche? He said, yeah, I'm all for because you go to a dentist and it's pulling out your teeth for your own good, which you start kicking the doctor? No. You better start enjoying. You can't, there's nothing that you can do. You go for a prostate exam, somebody put something behind your back, there's no way that you're feeling bad about it. I'm not saying lay back and enjoy, but at the same time, there is something that is happening because of you're getting yourself cured. So it is you have to see four different perspectives when you look at things like this. But simplistically, if you want an answer in terms of religion, yes, Hindu religion say it is a karmic. It is all it's the karma that has been carried down from your previous life, especially if something happens when you are young or the innocent, poor people. Suddenly there's a landslide, dozens of people die, others are all happy. Why it happened only to them, not to others?
The other thing you mentioned was what I love is you're sharing these concepts from your daughters from the Eastern, and then you're bringing this podcast is being broadcast to Western, and it's going to introduce a lot of interesting concepts. And then what did you mean by you felt divinely inspired and you felt the universe was writing? Because I had another guest who wrote a story as well, also but hers was talking about the COVID pandemic and the illness of society. Talk about how you got divine inspiration to write this book.
See, this is how it is, Chris. Now, do you play tennis?
I know how to, but I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not
Let's say that tomorrow you have no reason why. You just go to a store and then you pick up a racket, and somehow something tells you go to a tennis court, and 1 year down the road you become a tennis player. And he had absolute no plans of ever lifting a racket playing tennis. Now, similarly, in my case, some people will call me the enlightenment. That I did have a kind of a fantastic transformatory revelation when I trekked Mount Kent a day, 19,000 feet. But something happened in me when I went there. When I came back, I don't know what made me take up a pen. Just like I told you, everybody started asking me, especially the women, my wife's friend, oh, what happened, Mohan? Please share your experience. I was saying the same thing over and so I started writing. Whatever, friend, it became 25,000 words. 25,000 words is almost like about 100 pages. And then I wrote everything and it became 68,000 pages about all these things about non-duality, quantum physics, everything. And I sent it to an American. He said, it's fantastic. And she edited it and made it a 49,000 words. And there was a book which I self-published. Do you think I can call I wrote that book? To tell me as if I had a goal to write a book? No. I had no goal. I had no goal of becoming a writer. I had no goal of writing. I had a goal of sharing my daughter's story one day or the other, but I didn't know how.
Interesting.
One thing I thought was giving away in charities, putting up some homes for the parents of the disabled and all that. And I did want to share my story, but I had no illusions of becoming a goal of becoming a writer. So there is what is called a non-doership in Hinduism.
Okay.
I did that. I wrote that. There is no I. You are being done. I was being written. You wonder, I was like a puppeteer. into picking up a pen, to going to the Microsoft document, Word document, and type it out. Can I say I wrote a book? If you tell me, Chris says, okay, Mohan, you write a fiction story, romance story about all the erotic scenes and everything, I'll give you 50,000 bucks. Then I can say I write a book, I have a goal, I want to do it, I want to make money to an extrinsic value, fine. But in this case, I had no plan of ever writing a book about experience. That is why I keep saying that I was being written. Whatever happens, we foolishly think I am doing it. So when you get older and older, you realize that there is no I. You're being played.
Interesting.
I'm not talking about free will. That does not go to philosophy. But you have to understand at a deeper level, they will not call the cosmic conspiracy. You're standing there and somebody is watching behind. Somebody is watching you. How do you know that? You don't know. Either there's an I behind you. You're thinking of somebody, 5 minutes later, the phone call comes. It happens so many times. They call it confirmation bias. You don't keep the misses, but you only keep the hits. No. There are things inordinate which you cannot fathom, cannot understand.
Interesting. If people wanted to check out the book and connect with you and learn more from you, how can they do that?
Yeah, they just go to myopia.co.
Yeah. And what a fantastic conversation. And all of Mohan's resources will be in the show notes. I encourage you to check out the book. It's also on Amazon. And thanks so much for sharing your insight and wisdom. It's a very fascinating discussion.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me.